Hi everyone, my name is George, and I'm going to talk about the rumors surrounding Spider-Man No Way Home. Do I think there's any truth to them? What does this mean for this movie? What's this movie about? Is it a Spider-Verse film? Now let's just talk about these real quick. So, ever since late September, early October, when Jamie Foxx was announced to return as Electro, there's been a lot of debate as to whether or not this is a Spider-Verse film, especially after the casting of Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, and we know that the next Doctor Strange film is going to be a multiverse film. Then comes the casting announcement of Alfred Molina, who played Doc Ock in Spider Man 2, being confirmed to return as Doc Ock for Spider Man No Way Home. And then comes the Disney Investors Day, when Kevin Feige says that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is going to connect to the upcoming Spider Man film. Now, these rumors also surround this whole idea of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield returning. Now, these are just from like sites like WeGotThisCovered.com that says, oh, they've been signed, or Toby's being a pain to sign because he wants more money, or he wants more screen time, or both, and them being saved for the third act of the film, and just all these kind of sites that say, oh, they're going to be in the film, but nothing's been confirmed yet. But yet, none of the real official trades like the Hollywood Reporter or MovieWeb.com have said Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are officially going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, obviously, earlier this year, in February, we had Tom Holland say, oh, Tobey and Andrew are not going to be in the movie. I would have known by now. And then we know with the finale of WandaVision, where a lot of fan theories turned out to be not true, and it didn't connect to the multiverse, we kind of toned down and people were saying, let's take a break from all this. But a couple weeks ago, the film stopped filming or ended filming. It was done. And the rumors picked up again. And the reason why they picked up again is because Andrew Garfield's stunt double was spotted on set. He must have posted a picture on set or something, and he deleted that post. Apparently, Tobey Maguire's stunt double has also been seen on set, although someone said he's been involved in films like Black Panther and Avengers Endgame for Marvel Studios, so that may not mean much. But then, like, in some of the pictures on the last day of set, they show some pictures of Andrew Garfield's first Amazing Spider-Man suit on certain things, like some of the Celebration merchandise or something like that. And then you get the poster where everyone's names are signed who was involved in the film, and people are saying they saw Tobey Maguire's signature on there, and it looks very similar to his signature on previous Spider-Man stuff. So sorry, my eyes a little itchy. So these rumors are picking up again, and it's being reinforced with Tobey Maguire's Spanish dub voice actor being confirmed to be involved in a future Spider-Man thing. Now, it could be Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2, which is an animated film, but it could also be Spider-Man No Way Home. And now, in my last video, when I talked about Spider-Man 4 with Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire is being rumored, that also ties in because the rumors say that if Tobey's going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home, they want to see how the reception is to that before they go forward with a new solo Tobey Maguire Spider-Man film. Now, what do I think of these rumors? Well, they are very exciting. I would love to see Tobey Maguire come back in a Spider-Man film. I thought he was a phenomenal Spider-Man Peter Parker. I also liked Andrew Garfield. Now, I like the first Amazing Spider-Man film. I think it's a good film. It hasn't aged well, but I still like the film. I rewatched the film last year, and while it does have some flaws, like the Lizard, I thought the Lizard was a bad villain, I still think it's a pretty good movie. Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think, is a very messy film. That's actually the only Spider-Man film I do not care for. It has some very good moments, but it also has a lot of bad moments. And the villains felt like they belong in a Joel Schumacher Batman film. But I felt like there was potential to improve, but because it didn't perform that well, that's when they did the Marvel Studios Sony deal, and that ended Andrew's movie. So I like to see Andrew at least get one more chance, a redemption of sorts. On the other hand, I was kind of hoping this film could be a film where Tom Holland Spider-Man can shine. Now, I like the Tom Holland Spider-Man films. I think Homecoming is a very good movie. I love Far From Home. I think Far From Home is actually a better film than Homecoming. I think that's a great film, but I feel like they're focused on keeping him tied into the MCU, and I would love to see him hold his own, have like a more traditional Spider-Man movie. And I understand that was going to be hard because of how Far From Home ended with his identity being leaked out. But even still, I feel like a more traditional Spider-Man movie should be there for Tom Holland before you do the full-fledged Spider-Verse. I want to see Tom Holland not have to rely on a mentor and focus on being his own Spider-Man. But I'm still excited if this is a Spider-Verse film. Because again, I would love to see Tobey and Andrew come back. Now, a lot of the rumors, certain leaked scripts that were on sites like Reddit are saying they're most likely going to be in the third act if they're in the film for this Avengers Endgame like big finale. Or they could just be saved for a mid or end credit scene that will set up either Doctor Strange 2 because they have been rumored to appear in Doctor Strange 2, or a full-fledged Spider-Verse film where they'll play a much bigger role. Now, if they're not in the film, will I be disappointed? No. I'm still looking forward to No Way Home. I think after how Far From Home ended with his identity being leaked out, it sets up an interesting premise for a Spider-Man film regardless of if it's just Tom Holland or multiple Spider-Man. I'm still excited to see a standalone Spider-Man film. And this could be something special. They keep saying this is the most ambitious superhero film. They're obviously doing something special with this film. Now, another reason I say this is because a lot of people are assuming that because Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina are returning, that is Spider-Verse. If you recall in Far From Home, J.K. Simmons returned as J. Jonah Jameson, but as the MCU Jameson, not Raimi Jameson. So Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx be playing the MCU Doc Ock and the MCU Electro. Now, the interesting thing is we haven't really heard anything about any other villains from any of the other movies coming back, or any new ones. Like, I remember Kraven the Hunter was a fan favorite to be in this film, especially with Tom Holland and John Watts. I remember them saying, oh, we would love to have Kraven in the next film. So we haven't heard any casting announcements on if Kraven's going to be in the film, or if any of the villains from the previous films, like Vulture, if Michael Keaton's coming back to play Vulture. We've heard rumors of Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin and Thomas Hayden Church as the Sandman. But again, these are just from some of those sites like WeGotThisCovered.com that you gotta take with a grain of salt. Now, Sony hasn't released a trailer. They just finished filming. They haven't really made any announcements yet. So hopefully they do. I noticed that Marvel Studios is putting out more trailers again. But again, this is distributed by Sony. So Sony probably has those final says. I don't know how that works. I'll be honest. But they've kept this whole filming pretty secretive. And I noticed they're kind of doing the same thing with Doctor Strange too. So they're clearly preventing people from figuring out what this movie is. As far as we know, based on what we've seen that was filmed, it does leave off from Far From Home. There's people that are pro Mysterio, pro Spider-Man. We see Spider-Man, dealing with some relationship stuff with Zendaya, Michelle. We see, Tom Holland's brother apparently is going to play a drug dealer in the film. And we see Zendaya on a school set, I guess, for a gym class scene in the film. So we've only seen what we pretty much already know, that it's still an MCU film. We know that there's going to be MCU characters, the MCU MJ, MCU Ned Leeds, MCU Aunt May. Because there's also been other characters from the films that have been rumored. Like there was one that said from Collider that, as well as Tobey and Andrew, Kirsten Dunst might return as Sam Raimi, Mary Jane, or Emma Stone could return as Amazing Spider-Man Gwen Stacy. And then there was also a more recent rumor that J.K. Simmons is not only going to keep playing Jameson in the MCU, but he's also going to play Raimi Jameson. So we have all these rumors, but we don't really know anything. We have hints from certain insiders, like saying, "Oh, Toby has signed; he's gonna do his scenes right away," or we're gonna have a rematch between Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Alfred Molina's Doc Ock. We just don't really know what's true or not. And none of the actors have released a statement. Like by now, you would think, well, if this isn't true, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield might release a statement saying, "We're not going to be in the current Spider-Man film. We haven't heard anything even about it." But they haven't even released any statements. The only one that released a statement was Dan DeHaan, who played the Green Goblin / Harry Osborn in Amazing Spider-Man 2. He's the only one who was also rumored to be returning that said, "Oh, I'm not going to be in the new Spider-Man film." So we really don't have any idea. But again, whether it's a multiverse film or Spider-Verse film, whatever you want to call it, or an identity crisis film where Spider-Man's on the run or he's trying to prove his identity, I'm still excited for it because it's a Spider-Man film. I love most of the Spider-Man films. I love MCU Spider-Man. I think Homecoming is a very good film. I think Far From Home was a great film. So I was excited for No Way Home even before all this multiverse stuff was being announced. But hopefully we get an announcement soon. And another thing I forgot to add, we haven't even seen what Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina are going to look like. We haven't even seen what their designs are. Is it the same designs from the previous films or something new? I think Jamie Foxx said he wasn't going to be blue in the film. But like I said, maybe he's just trying to throw us off. Like, we really don't know. Like, Tom Holland could be lying. Maybe he doesn't really know. They were trying to throw us off with these titles. So, like I said, they've kept this film pretty secretive. And the other rumor, like, there's been so many rumors. Charlie Cox possibly returning as Matt Murdock from the Daredevil TV show. That's like been one that they say he's gonna be in it or he's not gonna be in it. Like, there's just so much surrounding this film. Like, this film, I wouldn't be surprised if this film is as long as Endgame if you're gonna have all these characters be in the film, or at least longer than most of the other MCU films. But anyways, those are just my thoughts on it. It just feels like there's so much rumored in this Spider-Man film. Like, there was so much I wanted to talk about, and it's like right before I wanted to end it, I remember something. Like, that's just how crazy this film is being sounded. It's definitely going to be an ambitious film. But is it going to be a Spider-Verse film? I don't know. But regardless, I'm going to be excited. I don't want to get my hopes up too high, which is why I'm saying there's a 50% chance. But if anything, I think most likely it's going to be like the third act where Toby and Andrew are going to do most of their appearances, or maybe a mid to end credits scene. I know Sony definitely wants to do a live action Spider-Verse film. Of course they would want to do that. But like I said, I don't know if it's going to be No Way Home, but based on what we know, it probably could be. Anyways, these are my quick thoughts on just some of the things that were being rumored, what we know about Spider-Man No Way Home. I hope to do more videos like this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please drop a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And please share this with someone that's pumped up for the new Spider-Man film. And I hope to see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone. Have a nice weekend.